Hi, my name is Marissa Johnson. I'm a real estate agent in Middle Tennessee, and today I'm here to talk to you about my schedule as a realtor. In addition to being a realtor, I'm also a mom to two young children. So I'm going to give you kind of the breakdown of what my schedule was like as a solo agent and what my schedule is now that I am on a team. My schedule when I was a solo agent will probably be different than your schedule because this was during the height of COVID, so we were at home for everything. So the first thing I want to say is that your schedule as a realtor is what you make of it. It can be super empty or it can be very crazy and chaotic. When I first started, it was in 2021. My kids were still in virtual school and I had signed up with Keller Williams as a solo agent. Keller Williams has a very set schedule of what they want their new agents to do, or at least at my Keller Williams they did. I was a member of the coaching club. It was mandatory. You had to be a member. And so the first thing, I think at 8 a.m. it started script practice. And then like at 9 or 9:30 you had a team meeting. And then 10 after the team meeting until about 12 they would do prospecting and cold calls, and you would do that on video chat with a team of people. Like usually you were on mute, but you had people on there like watching you make these calls. And then after that, probably the time varied daily, but at 3 o'clock or so every day you'd have a class. It'd be a contracts class or a how to market myself class or an open house class. Lots of different classes about real estate and how you can promote yourself and what you can do to help your buyers or your sellers have the very best transaction experience. So with Keller Williams, being at home with my kids full time, that was a more challenging schedule for me, just because I felt like I couldn't participate in like the hour-long script practice, or I couldn't participate in the cold calls because I just had these two little kids who needed help with their schoolwork, who needed somebody to play with them or feed them or help them, or whatever was happening. Because anyone who went through this knows what I'm talking about. Like, it was not easy having kids at home and trying to work full time. Even with my spouse being home, I still couldn't really do it because he was also working full time. So my schedule with Keller Williams, because I did the script practice sometimes. But I didn't really do the prospecting and cold calls because I don't like cold calls, first off. And second, I just didn't want to get on the phone with people and then have my kids be like, "Mommy," because my son was in school at this time and he did need help. He was only in first grade. Like, that's a challenging thing to do, virtual school as a first grader. So my schedule was pretty lax. I woke up, hung out with my kids. I maybe did some script practice, maybe went to the team meeting, always went to the trainings. I did do the trainings and all the contract classes. Because that was the main reason I signed up with Keller Williams, was because of their background as like the #1 real estate brokerage and education. So I wanted all of that information. Did I make any sales during this time? No. Did I get any clients or any leads? Nope. I did talk to one for sale by owner, and I went out and met with him. Turned out his son was actually a real estate agent and he just hadn't listed with him, but if he was going to list it, it would be with his son. So that was that for me. And I actually think that the experience I had with Keller Williams was part of what drove me to try and find a team. All right, so let's talk about my general daily schedule when I have no showings planned or anything, just everyday schedule, what it kind of looks like. 7 o'clock, I take my kids to school. 8 o'clock, I usually go to the gym or come and do a workout at home. 10 to 12 or 1 o'clock, I'll prospect and follow up with any of the leads I have, search for properties, do all of that fun stuff. 1 o'clock, I'll usually have like lunch, try to do some chores around the house, and then 2 o'clock, I leave to go get my kids. And after that, I am home with my kids and trying to be like present as a mom and not as a real estate agent. So then let's go through a schedule when I do have showings. The team that I work on is not just Nashville based, it is all over Tennessee. So I don't usually go like further than 2 hours out to look at a home, but 2 hours out is a pretty long drive. So there have been days where I get up and my husband takes my kids to school and I drive 2 hours from Nashville to Sparta. And then I'll be in Sparta all day showing homes. And then, so I have no time to prospect. I usually don't eat lunch because I always forget. And then I come back home. If I'm able to, I'll pick my kids up. Otherwise, I'll get home probably around 3 or 4. And then at that point, I'll try to answer any emails I've had sent during that day. I'll try to answer any texts that I've missed. And so then usually around like 6 o'clock is when we have dinner. And then I can kind of finally relax for the day. And that's just what it is. Your schedule is going to vary every single day. If you have showings, your schedule is not your own. Your schedule is whatever your buyer or your lead, your seller, your schedule is their schedule. I had one client who she could only see homes after work. And that's totally fine. And she wanted to see homes in Nashville, so that was even better because I didn't have to commute as far. So we would meet at like 5:30 and we would just see homes until like 7 or 8 every single day for weeks. And she was like a great client, so I didn't mind doing this at all. But once we were done, when we found her home, you know, I would be hanging out at my house and be like, I feel like I need to be doing something. Like I had not been home to have dinner with my kids, to make dinner, to put them to bed, to read stories with them for like a couple of weeks. And so that was like a change. Like I had the whole morning kind of open to do my normal schedule, but then the afternoon I had to do other stuff. And it's just like that. Every client is going to be different. Some clients are going to want to see things at 8 a.m. And then some clients are going to want to see things at 8 p.m. Your schedule is going to be different every single day. And I see a lot of people or agents, specifically agents, talk about time blocking. And time blocking is a great strategy. But if you're going to do time blocking, you can't do it for like a month out. You've got to do like a day at a time because you just don't know what your schedule will look like every day.